Now, starting with the brief history about banking. Before learning banking, I think it is very important for us to understand the brief history of banking in India. Banking basically can be subdivided into three phases in India. The first bank started off in 1786. That was established in 1786. General Bank of India it was called. Then Bank of Bengal came into the picture in 1809. Bank of Bombay was formed in 1840. Bank of Madras was formed in 1843. All these three were amalgamated, and Imperial Bank of India was formed in 1920. The basic understanding is this: all these banks were formed by foreigners only. And since at that time India was under British rule, all these banks were formed by foreigners, not Indians. Most of them were from England. Subsequently, looking at the need for Indians, banking requirement of Indians, Allahabad Bank was started in 1865, Punjab National Bank was started in 1894, Bank of India in 1906, and State Bank of Mysore. At that time it was called Bank of Mysore, was started in 1913. To monitor all these banks, RBI was formed in 1935. So this is basically the history of banking. It was very, the banking system was what I would call it as a very archaic and old kind of banking system was running at that time. All the modern facilities were not available. Basics of banking like borrowing money and lending, it was more like the unorganized sector right now. From 1955, post-independence, all the name of there are a lot of changes made and more relevant to Indians. Banking was made more relevant to Indians. So at that time, the first change that was made post-independence was that Imperial Bank of India's name was changed to State Bank of India, and 7 other banks were made subsidiaries of State Bank of India in 1960. Indira Gandhi, when she came into power, she nationalized 14 major commercial banks. Nationalization, the reason behind nationalization was that it was made more user-friendly. The banks were supposed to be more user-friendly, and sector-wise importance was to be given. Previously, before nationalization, banks were in control. Banks were controlled by major business houses, and they were looking at a particular sector of business only. For example, Allahabad Bank. If you take the example of, say, Allahabad Bank, it was majorly catering to the needs of people of Uttar Pradesh. So it was not very focused on other sectors.